Bradley Beal is done in Phoenix, according to Shams Charania. Beal has agreed to a contract buyout and plans to join the Clippers on a 2-year, $11 million deal after he clears waivers. He will join a starting lineup that obviously includes Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Now, a little bit of context, y'all, because I think we got to look at his time in Phoenix. He averaged 17.6 points per game. That was the first time he's averaged less than 20 points per game in consecutive seasons since 2015-2016. Those 2 seasons, 2014 through 2016. I'm hurt. What does the addition of Bradley Beal do for the Los Angeles Clippers?
Nothing. Nothing. I mean, like, I'm just being real here, right? Like, you know, we was talking about maybe 4 years ago, we had Bradley Beal in the conversation with the likes of a Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell when it comes down to the 2-guard position. But when you look at the Clippers and you look at who they have, they're not doing nothing but getting older. And I know that they got John Collins from the Utah Jazz, but when you look at what teams have done this offseason, the teams that are trying to go get it, they have youth, they have athleticism, they have depth at the wing position that could play both ways. I don't trust that the Clippers don't have that. Yeah, you bring back James Harden, who's going to do great in the regular season. You bring back Kawhi Leonard, who shows signs of life towards the end of the season that he could be healthy, but we still don't know, right? He's always had a question mark. The only bright spot, in my opinion, on this squad has been Big Zubac, right? Big Zubac, who had an impressive season last year, went toe-to-toe with Jokic last postseason in the 7-game series and held his own. So when I look at the Clippers, they're going to be a top 8 seed in the Western Conference. They're going to be 8 somewhere along those lines. But they're not better than OKC. They're not better than Dallas. They're not better than Denver. They're not better than Golden State. So again, Bradley Beal on this squad becoming the 4th option behind James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Big Zubac, I mean, to be honest, doesn't really do nothing for me. It doesn't move the needle. It shouldn't have been breaking news. It should have just been NBA news.
Okay. I have a couple thoughts. Go ahead, Harry.
If you don't stop. Now, what I do agree with Perk about is that you don't have the fountain of youth when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers.
None of us do.
But here's my thing, though. What was one of the keys to the OKC Thunder winning the NBA championship and also the Indiana Pacers going there? Depth, right?
Speed and depth, yes.
And when they traded Norman Powell, number one, it raised my I was like, hold on, what's going on here? Because this is a guy who's had his best season in his NBA career, and now you're trading him, but something else had to come of it. You look at Brook Lopez coming over in free agency to back up Zubac. You go get a John Collins as well, and now you get Bradley Beal. So basically, you said we're going to get 3 players for 1. Okay. And I like that move because you're adding depth across the board. But on any given night, in my opinion, you have 4 guys in your starting lineup that can give you 20-plus points. That can be your leading scorer. So I do love that when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers, and I don't believe they're going to be a top 8 team. I believe they're going to be a top 4 or 5 team.
I don't know about all
next
that.
season.
Okay, all right, HC. Wendy, I'm coming to you. Wendy, you and I did NBA Today recently when the DeAndre Ayton news was announced, right? Now, similar-ish situation. I was in D.C. when Bradley Beal was at his best with the Wizards. He has commanded far more money than the next 2 years are going to be in Phoenix. Inspiration? Like, how do we put that into context?
Well, first off, let's just point out that the Suns did a $100 million buyout of a player that they're now going to pay $20 million a year for the next 5 years.
Oh, goodness.
And by the way, I kind of get it, because they're going to save over $200 million just this year alone. But that's another topic. We're talking about the Clippers. I also want to point out, Perk is right. Perk is right that on the wing, their athleticism and what's going to be required to win 12 games in the Western Conference playoffs, they're going to get tested. I agree. But when you look at the teams that had great success last season, they had depth and size and depth, and that is what the Clippers have focused on this offseason. Bradley Beal averaging 17 points a game. And by the way, part of the reason his scoring was down, guys, is he wasn't getting the ball. Now, you can argue whether that was a good decision or not, but he had the lowest usage rate of his whole career. He got the ball more as a rookie than he did last year in Phoenix, but that's whatever. But 17 points a game at $50 million a year, you're not thrilled with that. You're paying a guy with max with a no trade clause. Of course you think he's underachieving. 17 points and 50% shooting at $5 million a year?
Yeah.
Now we're having a different conversation. And that's what the Clippers did. The Clippers took Norman Powell, a guy that they really liked, but they did not want to give him a new contract because they want to protect their cap space the next 2 years because they're going to be big game hunting. Perk, you're right again about their age, absolutely. Yep. But they're going to go big game hunting the next 2 years. They didn't want to give Powell the contract, so they took Powell and their mid-level exception, and they turned it into Brook Lopez, John Collins, and Bradley Beal. That is good work. Is it championship work? We'll see, but that is good work by that organization.
Burke, what you got? We're 2 minutes out from break.
Well, to Harry's point, again, we always talking about one side of the basketball, right? Harry brought up, and I love Harry, but he brought up, on any given night, they have 3 guys that could light you up for 30 points. Well, who the hell they gonna defend? Right, when you talk about guys and you talk, see, OKC and Indiana, they raise the bar when it comes down to having wing defenders in the NBA. The most important position in the league is the wing guys that could defend at a high level, right? When you look at OKC, when you look at Indiana, you look at a Nembhard, you look at an Aaron Nesmith, those guys defend their behinds off. And we already know what Oklahoma City bringing to the table. Nico Harrison traded Luka because he said that defense win championships, and it do. So again, I'm looking at Bradley Beal, probably going to be the 4th option on this team behind James Harden, Kawhi, and Big Zubac because they go to Zubac heavy on that low block. So it's just not moving the needle for me. I'm sorry. Not for us being title contenders.
Defense wins championships. All right, so check to the Clippers in terms of making the money work. We'll see how it plans out actually on the basketball court.
Fruitless seasons in Phoenix, has agreed to a buyout with the team. His agent told ESPN Shams Charania this will then allow him to sign a 2-year contract with the Clippers, the 2nd year of which has a player option, so that Beal could become one of the prize free agents next summer. With today's news, the reorg of the Phoenix Suns is complete, and Shams joins us now for more. So, Shams, tell us how this all played out over the last few days.
Over the last few weeks, Bradley Beal, his agent Mark Bartelstein, they received permission to go speak to interested teams, negotiate with interested teams in Bradley Beal. And aside from the Clippers, there was interest from multiple places. The Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Lakers, the Golden State Warriors. But Bradley Beal on Wednesday decides on the Clippers. 2 years, $11 million. And I'm told James Harden was vital in recruiting Bradley Beal. He even spoke to Bradley Beal directly, but also people around him in his inner circle. And so Beal now slides into that starting 2-guard role that Norman Powell had initially before that trade to Miami. And he has a player option for next season. And the intention there is to become a free agent in year 2. But immediately, he's going to play alongside Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. This is a very deep Clippers team that Bradley Beal feels like he can now come in, make a big impact. It obviously did not